wasn't thinking about you, not really. Just sitting there, letting the room go quiet. And then somehow you were there, not loud, just there. I didn't move, didn't try to change it, just stayed with it for a while. It stays, it stays somewhere in the air. It stays, it stays, doesn't disappear. Thought maybe it would pass like most things do at night, but it didn't. It just stayed a little longer than I expected, and I didn't mind, not this time. Just let it be what it is. In the dim light where the evening slowly settles into something softer than it meant to be, I can hear the quiet stretching out between the notes, as if the room is breathing on its own. And there's a trace of something distant in the way the rain keeps drifting down the window. Like a memory that never fully forms, but never really disappears. The piano moves without direction, never asking where the moment wants to go, just leaving space between each thought, as if silence has a place of its own to stay. And I find myself listening not for meaning, but for the shape of what remains, in the way the sound dissolves before it ever has the chance to become anything at all. There's a stillness in the air that doesn't feel empty, something clearer than it is. Because the night doesn't ask for answers, it just lingers quietly in the space we leave behind. And I'm willing to let it stay that way without needing it to turn into something more. If the moment shifts, I let it move without following too closely where it goes. And if it fades, I let it fade without trying to remember what it was. Because there's a kind of warmth in letting things remain just slightly out of reach, like a voice you almost recognize but never need to hear again. You lean in, then drift away, like you're not sure you should stay. Every word, soft and light, falls apart in this night. There's a space we never cross, not enough to call it lost, just enough to make it real, something we don't dare to feel. Almost close, almost near, almost something we could hear. If we try just a little more, we'd be something worth it for. Your eyes move and look down, like you lost what you found. Still it stays in the air, something fragile, something rare, almost yours. You came in with the rain still on your sleeve. Didn't say much, just sat next to me. I could feel every drop still in your hair. Little silence hanging in the air. I don't know why you chose this place tonight, but I'm glad you walked into my light. There's a way you don't try to fill the space, just a quiet resting in your face. Coffee's warm, but it's fading in like we're somewhere we've already been. Stay a little longer, stay until it's over. We don't have to call it anything. Stay a little closer, stay, I won't get closer. We don't need to name a single thing. Rain keeps falling, tracing lines along the glass. City breathing somewhere in the past. You lean back like you're trying not to stay, but your eyes kind of give it all away. There's a warmth in the space between our knees, almost touching, but not quite with ease. We don't move, we don't break the fragile line, just existing somewhere out of time. Maybe this is already too much, maybe not nearly enough. We don't ask, we don't try to understand, just a moment slipping through our hands. Stay until the rain ends, stay, we can pretend. Stay until it fades out. Stay, don't figure it out. Stay just how it is now. Stay, we don't need to know how. Stay until the rain ends. Stay until the rain ends. Stay until the rain ends. You arrived in the softened glow of a rain-washed avenue. With a quiet kind of distance I pretended not to read in you. And the way you let the silence settle without asking anything felt like something I had almost known but didn't want to begin. There was something in the stillness of the way you turned away. Not avoidance, not intention, just a quiet kind of gray. Let it stay where it is. Let it stay where it is. We don't have to name it. Let it stay where it is. Let it stay where it is. We don't have to change it. Let it stay where it is. Let it stay where it is. Nothing more than this. Every shadow in the room seemed to shift without a sound, drawing quiet attention to the way we stayed around. And I didn't try to follow what was forming in between, just let everything remain somewhere I hadn't seen. You were closer than before, but never close enough to stay. Like a thought that comes and goes without asking you to stay. Let it stay where it is. Let it stay where it is. We don't have to name it. Let it stay where it is. Let it stay where it is. We don't have to change it. Let it stay where it is. Let it stay where it is. Nothing more than this. You settled in beside the softly glowing edge of evening conversation, with a quiet kind of presence that didn't ask for any explanation. And the way you let the silence rearrange the space between felt like something almost simple that we chose to leave unseen. I could hear the distant movement of the rain along the street, blending into every pause we didn't try to make complete. And the rhythm of the moment never asked for us to lead, just a gentle kind of drifting we were careful not to read. There's a certain kind of comfort in the things we never say, in the way we let the details slowly fall and fade away, like a conversation forming but deciding not to stay, leaving only traces scattered in a soft and quiet way. Every small and passing gesture seemed to carry something more. Not enough to call it meaning, not enough to be ignored. Just a subtle inclination we could easily refuse, but we let it stay between us, like a thought we didn't choose. If we let this softly shifting, almost weightless moment breathe, we don't have to hold it closer. We don't have to make believe. We can leave it in the open, in a place we don't define, somewhere just beyond the edges of a feeling undefined. If you lean a little nearer, I won't try to understand what it means or where it's going, or the way you take my hand. We can let it stay uncertain, let it move without a name, in a quiet kind of closeness that will never be the same. There's a delicate reflection in the way you turn your eyes, like you're choosing not to follow where the deeper meaning lies. And the longer that we linger in the absence of a need, the more it feels intentional in the things we don't conceive. Every second seems to soften as it stretches out of place, redefining what we're doing without what could happen if we named it or allowed it to begin. So we let it stay suspended somewhere underneath the skin. Maybe this will slowly disappear without a trace of form. Maybe it was never meant to ever fully become warm. But there's something in the quiet of a night that doesn't close that makes it feel like more than something anybody knows. So we leave it in the corner of a softly fading light, where the absence of a reason makes it easier to write what we never tried to finish or to clearly understand. Just a quiet kind of moment, slowly slipping through our hands. The scent of something unfinished lingers in the narrow space between the walls. A quiet trace of passing movement settles where the daylight falls. There's a distance in the way things rest now, like they've shifted out of place. Even time feels slightly altered in the outline of this space. Stay a little closer for a moment. Stay until the room forgets to move. There's a feeling we're not naming, but it's already passing through. Nothing here is asking. Nothing here replies. Stay a little closer for a moment. Stay until the room forgets to move. There's a feeling we're not naming, but it's already passing through. Something in the quiet settles deeper than it ever meant to prove. You arrived through the quiet shimmer of a rain-soaked evening street, with a barely hidden tension I decided not to meet. And the way you leaned into the silence without needing anything felt like something I remembered but refused to fully begin. There was something slightly distant in the drifting of your eyes, in the slow and measured breathing of a truth we didn't describe. So I followed through the fragile complication we designed, in a space where every meaning stayed deliberately undefined. If we let this unfamiliar kind of stillness take its place, we don't need to reconcile the silence we don't try to face. We can stay within the boundaries of a moment left unspoken, in a quiet understanding neither one of us has broken. If you step a little closer, I will probably hesitate, not because I don't feel it, but because I'd prefer it stays in the unresolved dimension of a feeling undefined, somewhere in between the words we always leave behind. There's a subtle sense of distance gently floating in the air, like a silent mutual promise not to notice something there. And the longer that we linger in the absence of a need, the more it feels intentional in a way we won't concede. Every passing second stretches slightly out of frame, redefining what we're doing without asking us to name. So we rest inside the outline of a moment half conceived, in a quiet kind of presence neither one of us believes. Maybe this was never something meant to fully stay. Maybe it was always meant to slowly fade away. But there's something in the way it never fully comes to be that makes it more compelling than a certainty could be. So we leave it in suspension, in a fragile in-between, where the lack of any meaning keeps it sharper than it seems, and the silence all around us feels intentionally misaligned, somewhere in between what we never chose to define.